I just got back from watching The End of Oak Street, and now we're going to talk about it. Now, today's video will simply just be a spoiler-free review, so you don't have to worry about me spoiling it for you. I'm going to keep things generally vague, and I'm just going to talk about I'm just going to talk about my general thoughts about the film. If you want a spoiler-filled review, that'll likely be uploaded tomorrow, but tonight, it's all just spoiler-free. So, what did I think of this movie? I liked it. I liked it. I thought that it was a good movie. I thought it was pretty exciting basically from start to finish. Things obviously start off relatively simple. You get introduced to the neighborhood and of course the some of the inhabitants of the neighborhood. And then it's like in stark contrast to the events that are slowly about to follow. And when the events finally happen and the neighborhood is brought back in time, like we saw in the trailers, things are then, dialed up to 11. There's a decent amount of build up to eventually seeing dinosaurs and other extinct creatures. And I thought all of that was handled incredibly well. There was a few instances where you simply just hear screams in the distance, and it was actually really quite terrifying. Like, I don't think I've been this nervous about seeing dinosaurs in a film in a while. Like, actually, I don't even know if I've ever been nervous about seeing dinosaurs in a film. That's usually my highlight. It still is my highlight here, but I really liked the characters as well. The family that we follow, I liked them. They all had their problems, which is very human of them. And a lot of that kind of like links into the rest of the story, of course. One highlight that I want to bring up is that the cinematography was very cool. I mean, we saw a little bit of this in the trailers with some very interesting, footage. But there was just a lot of times where it's like they did this very specific camera movement where it would be focusing on something in the foreground, but then something important will be happening in the background. And so instead of just cutting to the thing that's happening in the background, the thing that's still going on in the foreground is still happening, but the camera just slowly zooms in behind them to follow the thing that's happening in the background. I don't know why I liked that so much, but I just thought that was very interesting. And it does that a few times in the movie, and it works to great effect, at least in my opinion. Like sometimes it'll be someone's doing something in the foreground, and then it'll slowly zoom past them, and you'll see a dinosaur in the distance, or you'll see a tail or something. It was really nicely used, and I think it built a lot of tension. And it made you fearful for these characters all around. The dog was obviously adorable. No spoilers about him, but I liked him. I thought that he was very cute because he is a dog. That kind of links into something I wanted to bring up real quick. Obviously, they used AI dogs to advertise this movie. I have no idea what they were thinking. As far as I know, no actual AI was used in the making of this film, which is good. No AI scripts, no AI in place of the animation, nothing to that effect. It was simply just an advertisement thing, which was stupid on their part. I mean, if the goal was to give your movie a bad reputation before you even started showing in theaters, that's the way to do it. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Obviously, again, as far as I know, the AI was not used in the making of this film. So that's good, at least, but just for some reason, they decided to use it for a little bit of their advertisement. And I think that they actually partnered with somebody to do that, so maybe the fault is on them. But still, don't do that. Don't use AI for your advertisement. It just gives you a bad look. Now, there's also the creatures of this film, obviously. They were a huge highlight, in my opinion. There was a lot of them. A lot of creatures made an appearance. And the way that they integrated into the neighborhood was just way more brutal than you would probably expect just by going off of the trailers. Well, actually, going off of the trailers, you might be able to expect that it would be pretty brutal because of that Coelophysis attacking the woman thing in like the very first trailer. So yeah, it's probably exactly how you expected. There's people being chased left and right, and it was pretty terrifying. There were like a couple surprise creatures that did not make an appearance in the trailer, so look forward to seeing that. Something that I'm sure many of you will not even expect to see. And on that note, there's a lot of surprises in general in terms of the overall story. Like some things happened that I certainly did not expect to happen. And I certainly give this movie a lot of credit for doing stuff like that because I like being surprised in movies. It feels like I'm not too surprised nowadays. The creature designs, as you probably know, are certainly all over the place. I've been talking about them for months now. But there's some that are decent, but then there are some that are just okay. I don't think there was any terrible designs per se, but some of them really struck me as just trying to be as scary or edgy as possible when you don't really need to do that with some of these creatures. Regardless, they were certainly really interesting to see on screen. Like, it was really interesting to see like a feathered brachiosaurus in all of its glory, doing some really interesting things that you might not expect it to do. Yeah, some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah, that moment. Yeah, crazy. Am I right? Crazy. Crazy. The Allosaurus was a clear highlight, and Spinosaurus was, of course, really cool to see on screen again. The little croc relatives. There was just a lot of really cool things all around. I would also like to mention real quick that I liked how some of these carnivorous animals hunted. Oftentimes in dinosaur media, the carnivorous animals, like especially the large theropods, will make sure to give you a nice roar before they go off and chase the thing that they're trying to catch, which is very uncharacteristic for a predatory animal, who oftentimes wants to be as quiet as it can possibly be while sneaking up on its prey. Well, a lot of times that's exactly what happened in this film. Like, these creatures would just like slowly sneak up on their prey, being really careful not to alert their prey of their existence. And I thought that was a very nice touch. I always appreciate it when dinosaur movies or docs or whatever include that little detail, because it makes them feel a lot more like animals, which doesn't happen too frequently in dinosaur media. It's hard to talk about this movie without giving spoilers, so I think I'm just going to end it here because I think I got the general idea of what my thoughts on this film are. It's a fun film. I thought it was good. I thought the story was pretty good. I really liked the characters. The creatures were handled decently well for the most part. I don't really have many negatives about the film overall, except, yeah, no, I mean, except for mostly like some of the creature designs and things like that, and maybe some of the creature portrayals, but overall, I think that it's a good dinosaur film that is like very easy for many dinosaur fans to sink their teeth into. So I give it, like, if I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it like an 8 or a 9. I think that it was a pretty solid film, and I cannot wait to watch it again. I'll be going with my wife sometime within the next few days, and I'm sure she'll like it too. But if you've seen the film already, what are your thoughts? Are you like, did you like it? Did you dislike it? Be sure to let me know. And if you haven't seen the film, maybe avoid the comments, because I don't know, there might be a spoiler there. Who knows? Comment sections are kind of unpredictable. But if you haven't seen the film and you want to brave the comments, are you excited for it? Be sure to let me know. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.